Hi, grant writing peeps. Chuck Etheridge here in week two, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what makes for a good grant proposal. Now, we're in the midst of writing a grant, and specifically, we're trying to get money for the Food Bank of the Coastal Bend to get more produce so we can increase the amount of produce available to senior citizens and mainly in rural areas, but throughout the Coastal Bend service area. We'll talk a little bit more about why that's important later in terms of the needs of the clients and things like that. But as you get into grant writing, it's important to realize that good grant writing starts with a good idea, with a good proposal. There's a need amongst the clients, the people that the agency serves, and they've got a program, a proposal, or a project to meet that need. So a good project is well thought out, and we're going to get more details from Mr. Morales, who is our contact with the Food Bank of the Coastal Bend as well. But they've already got programs in place, and what we're doing is essentially is an expansion. They know how to get food out to these people as well. They've got the systems, they've got this project in place. Part of our grant is going to be to describe this. And what we need to do is get resources so they can just increase the amount that they distribute. So it's well thought out. It works with your, it's consistent with the work your organization already does well. The mission of the food bank is to improve the lives of people through good food and better nutrition. That's not the exact mission, but that's what they try and do as well. And they've specifically targeted getting more fruits and vegetables out to people because people in the Coastal Bend, if you're not from this area, have lots of food related illnesses, heart disease, some kind of cancers, and diabetes is rampant. So it's consistent with the work they do. It involves a variety of people with the agency. So it's not just, oh, somebody in one office has an idea, but they talk with the truck drivers and the social workers, the people who actually interact with the clients. They talk with the people who run the food pantries. They talk with the donors. They talk with the staff. Do we have the capacity to store and distribute this? So good grants involve everybody from the people who are served, making sure it's a need that they actually have, all the way up through the process so that the project is feasible. It's something that the agency can do, and it's financially possible as well. So good grant writing has a lot of good planning. And the last thing I mentioned is good grant writing does not dollar chase. Now, I can give you lots of examples of how somebody goes out and gets grant. Oh, there's $1,000, there's $1,000,000, there's $500,000. Let's go out and get that money. It's called dollar chasing, and it usually leads to disaster because the worst thing that can happen to you as a grant writer is not to get funded. Remember, a grant is a legally binding contract, so the worst that can happen to you is you to get a grant that you're not ready or able to do. And I could give you several examples. I'll give you one. I know of an AIDS services organization that promised to provide complete services for AIDS victims in an area of Texas that was about a sixth of the surface area of Texas, but only had 400,000 people in there. And they promised to do all that work for $250,000, which is not feasible in and of itself. But the biggest expense that agency faced was transportation, because remember, a sixth of the surface area of Texas, but only 400,000 people. And they had to bring in people from all over to get the services that they needed. And there was no money in that grant involved for transportation. And it was a disaster because the agency was on the hook to provide the services because it accepted the grant. Now they managed to do it creatively and thoughtfully. They managed to work their way through the problem, but a better approach would have been to, at the front, build in the transportation, which is a necessary part of the program. So remember, a good project is specific, it's well thought out, it's consistent with the work your organization does well. It involves a variety of people from the agency, and it doesn't dollar chase. And that's something to keep in mind when you contact the agencies you're going to be doing your individual project for. You need a specific project. They know exactly what they want to do. If someone says, oh, anything you do is nice, it's not a good fit. or it's not. You need more information because it's like me telling you write a paper about what? About anything. How long should it be? I don't know. When is it due? I don't know. Do you need sources? No, I don't know. As well, it's not enough information. So good specific projects meet these criteria on this. And I don't want to belabor the point. So look forward to reading your writing. Thanks.